Good morning, I'm Francis Kasena Benega. My presentation is on understanding psychological stress and its management. Aims of my presentation. This presentation will set out to describe the meaning of psychological stress and its connection with mental health. It will refer to the significant causes of psychological stress in individuals and investigate the psychological, physical, and behavioral impacts of stress. 3 major coping mechanisms employed to deal with psychological stress will also be discussed and compared, and their efficacy in comparison with each other will be discussed. What is psychological stress? The psychological stress arises when people feel that the pressure exerted on them is greater than they can handle. There are emotional, cognitive, psychological, and behavioral responses to stress. It may be acute stress, which is temporary, and situational and chronic stress, which is chronic and long-term. Chronic stress has been very closely linked with adverse mental health conditions, such as anxiety and depression. Major sources of psychological stress. First one, I want to look at the causes of psychological stress can be very numerous, and they may refer to academic and written demands like deadlines, like what I'm doing right now, workloads and other demands, relationship problems, loneliness and interpersonal conflict are also social stressors that play a major role in causing stress. Stress is further aggravated by financial pressure, health-related pressures, and other significant life occurrences like bereavement or relocation. The centrals have different effects depending on the intensity of occurrences and individual meanings. That can be seen in American Psychological Association 2023. Effects of psychological stress on individuals. There are several effects of psychological stress on people. It may be psychologically anxiety inducing, depressive, and irritable. Stress can affect concentration cognitively, as well as add to poor thinking that individuals engage in. Long-term stress psychologically may lead to fatigue, headaches, and sleep, and behaviorally can lead to withdrawal, low productivity, and substance abuse. Stress has both mental and physical illness vulnerability when exposed over a long period. Let's look at the coping strategies. Overview. Coping strategies can be described as the mental and behavioral processes that can be adapted to deal with situations that cause stress. This may be adaptive and assist in reducing stress and enhancing well-being, or maladaptive, which offers short-term relief and exacerbates the long-term consequences. Problems-focused coping, emotional-focused coping, and seeking social support are 3 major coping strategies that are normally recognized in studies on psychology. Coping strategy 1. Problem-focused coping. Problem-oriented coping is where one takes action to correct the causes of stress. This can involve planning, time management, as well as problem solving and finding viable solutions to minimize demands. This is best applied in case the stressors can be managed. It has been proposed that problem-oriented coping helps to decrease stress in the long run and enhances person's sense of control and self-efficacy. Coping strategy 2, emotional focused coping. Emotionally oriented coping is concerned with the control of the emotional reactions of stress as opposed to the factual changes in the stressor. Such common methods are relaxation programs, meditation, and mindfulness, as well as cognitive reappraisal. It is a type of coping that comes in handy when the stressor is impossible to alter. Although emotion-oriented coping helps in minimizing emotional stress, it cannot be used effectively in cases where the underlying cause of stress is not addressed. We look at coping strategy 3, which is social support and conclusions. Social support coping is an attempt to get emotional and practical support from others, who may include friends, family members, peers, or professionals like colleagues at work. Yeah, you can talk to anybody. Social support has been identified to alleviate the adverse impact of stress and is closely related to resilience and enhanced mental health outcomes. To sum up, psychological stress is a factorial phenomenon that has an impact in mental, physical, and behavioral health. Although problem focus, emotional focus, and social support coping strategies may differ in their efficacy based on the circumstances, the combination of the strategies is the most successful one to cope with stress and safeguard mental health. So our last slide looks at the references. Thank you very much for your time.